Hey there, it's your muscle building coach, Lee Hayward, and every Friday afternoon I host a live stream Q&A on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel. Now this video clip right here was taken from a previous live stream where I discussed some strategies for getting back on track after you've messed up and cheated on your diet.
Chat. Daniel is asking ways to stick to a diet. He says he keeps messing it up. This is a good one, and I think everyone's going to be able to relate to this to some degree because, you know, nobody's perfect. Everybody's going to have issues where they slip up, they screw up on their diet, regardless of how disciplined you may be. Sometimes, you know, life's going to get in the way. Shit happens, whatever. I mean, you're going to screw up from time to time. This applies to anybody, regardless if you're just, you know, a weekend warrior or you're a professional athlete. What matters the most is not the fact that you screwed up, but how fast can you get back on track? The faster you can get back on track, that's what's going to make the biggest difference. Because a lot of people, if they mess up, they screw up a meal, for example, they'll probably say, oh, well, I blew it today. I'll start my diet again tomorrow. And by doing that, you're putting yourself further behind. Some people even take that to a further extreme. You know, they follow a diet, you know, let's say, okay, I'll start my diet on Monday. They start their diet on Monday, and then by Tuesday afternoon, they screw up and they say, oh, geez, I screwed up. I'll start it again next Monday. And then they eat crap all week long, waiting for next Monday to roll around so they can restart their diet. What you need to do, whenever you screw up one meal, you get back on track for your very next meal. That's it. You don't delay. Don't say, I'm going to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to wait till next week. No, the next meal. So if you screw up your lunch, you know, for your dinner, you get back on track. You screw up your dinner for you know, for your very next meal, get back on track. And sometimes you can even, depending on the degree of screw up that you had, you can even overcompensate for it. For example, let's say you had a cheat meal, you know, and you ate more than you should have or whatever. Then you can try and overcompensate for that the next day, probably go a little bit low carb, probably bump up your cardio a little bit to kind of balance it out. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this, you know, you try and justify cheat meals with more cardio or whatever, but it's a strategy that you can implement from time to time if you do screw up to help to offset some of the damage done. So if you do screw up, get back on track for your next meal. And then you, like, for example, if you overate, then you might want to go a little bit lower calorie, lower carb for a few days to kind of balance out. Maybe, you know, extend those cardio sessions a little bit more to expend more calories and just focus on the consistency over the long term. Another thing that I find helps a lot as well is having a plan in place, not just kind of winging your diet, but actually having a structured plan in place where you know what you're going to eat in advance rather than waiting until you're hungry and then looking around, well, what am I going to eat? You know, have a plan in place, have food prepared in advance, have good quality choices. So prepare the staples in advance. For example, earlier in the video chat, we were talking about cooking chicken in bulk. I mean, that's something great. If you have chicken breasts in bulk ready to go, then when it's time for a meal, there's no questioning, okay, what am I going to eat or whatever? Boom, you've got the food ready to go. So planning in advance, having some sort of structure to your meal plans is huge because it prevents you from getting to the point where you're hungry, your blood sugar's low, you're irritable, and you just want to eat something right away, and then you grab whatever's quickly available. If you have good quality, healthy food available, then it's much easier to make a better quality nutrition choice and less likely for you to grab something that you shouldn't eat and that you'll feel guilty about afterwards. So hopefully, Daniel, that helps with your diet strategy. And again, if this is something that you need some help with, I mean, I do help people with customized diet and training programs. So just head on over to my website at leehayward.com. And if you want, we can even you know, jump on a Skype call or something like that and discuss your situation personally. You know, I do that from time to time. In fact, right after this video chat, I have a Skype call lined up with a gentleman who wants to discuss his nutrition program. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can head on over to my website and book an appointment, and I'll be more than happy to jump on and have a chat with you. And these calls, it's totally free. I mean, it's something that I do to kind of just help you out. So I mean, if you would like to, just head on over to leehayward.com, click on the coaching tab, and there's a link there where you can sign up for a free 20-minute coaching call with me.
So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to post them down in the comment section below. And remember, every Friday afternoon, I host a live streaming video Q&A where you can join me and get your questions answered in real time. And in addition to that, I recommend that you download the Total Fitness Bodybuilding app. It contains some of my best muscle building workout programs and fat loss cutting tips, and it's like having your very own muscle building coach with you 24/7 right on your smartphone. It's available for both Apple as well as Android devices, and you can download the Total Fitness Bodybuilding app right on my website at leehayward.com.